So last Friday, my friend Dan invited me over for dinner at his new apartment. He's been on this whole minimalist kick lately, which I thought just meant he'd stopped buying scented candles and finally threw out his collection of novelty mugs. When I walked in, I noticed his living room was so empty it echoed, and the only thing on his kitchen counter was what looked like a single, suspiciously clean plate, a single fork, and, for some reason, just one sock drying on the windowsill. Dan announced we'd be having spaghetti, which sounded great until he started portioning the pasta onto his one plate. He handed it to me first, and then stood there, waiting. It took me a second to realize he expected me to eat my share, using the only fork, while he just stood there, arms crossed, making casual conversation about the weather. Afterwards, he grabbed the plate, loaded on his own spaghetti, and I handed over the fork like we were in some kind of ceremonial relay. The process repeated for the garlic bread. The tension was palpable. Sharing a plate is one thing, but sharing a fork? That's a level of intimacy I wasn't ready for. Things got even weirder when it came time for dessert, ice cream. Dan scooped a hefty dollop onto the plate, polished off his portion, then rinsed the plate and fork in the sink before offering me the plate with a flourish. I asked if he had a spoon, and he just shrugged, "Fork works fine." Minimalism is about adapting. At this point, I noticed he was limping a bit, and when I asked about it, he just said, "It's laundry day." I glanced again at the solitary sock on the sill and realized he was dead serious. By the end of the night, I was exhausted, not from the food, but from the mental gymnastics required to eat a 3-course meal with one plate and one fork. As I was leaving, Dan handed me my coat and said, "Next time, you bring the sock. I guess at his place, you really have to put your best foot forward."